got a feeling I may have recorded this already, so I've done it twice, just delete it. But anyway, so let me start properly. Right, so on the table I have the clutch outer wheel, the inner hubs here. When I took this apart, you'll remember there's 50 of these little guys. These need to be put in here. I've got new ones, and then once that's done, the clutch center, which has the shock absorber in it, which unfortunately has got a little bit of rust while it's been in the shed, slides over the top, holds everything in place, and then we put that onto here. It's held on with a Morse taper and a keyway there, little Woodruff key goes in there, and then I've got the prom drive sprocket here that's in, that's pretty good, Nick. Well, it's going back on anyway. That's, I think I'll go with a socket on that. I can't remember how I got it off, but I'll have to check Mr. Ratio to check if I have to put the clutch and this with the chain on it together, or whether I can do them one by one. I think I can do it one by one, which is how I got them off. And then the adjustment for the primary chain comes off this guy, which mounts there. So the chain goes on the inside. I bought a used one of these, so I thought the grooves were a bit deep. But I don't know, I'll compare. I'll put the least worn one on there. The 2140 has a kind of a band. Well, the BSA twins as well, with a screw that compresses and tightens that way. The 2140 is also a triplex, whereas this is a duplex chain. Anyway, that's about it. So that's what I'm going to do next. The next thing is put the rollers in. I'll turn the camera back on when I've got all the rollers in, and then we'll push the center over, and then we'll put it all together. Alrighty, so don't even make it out. Oh no, the shadow's getting in the way. There you go, that's better. So 50 rollers all in. I'm going to smear a little grease over the top, and then this guy sits on top. I'll ease that down. Could probably actually do that now. Give you a little bit of excitement. Let me just turn the camera down. There we go. Use my super duper free grease. It's going to get like trans fluid in it, so not trans fluid, primary oil, which I think is engine oil on this. I think there's a bleed through hole. Well, I'm pretty sure there is. It's not like my T140, which runs a separate chain case. That's on. So now what I've got to make sure I do is when I pick it up to install it, I don't go like that, because then it'll all fall apart and I'll lose all the rollers. So that's going to be it for now, because my darling wife is coming out with a glass of beer because it's a beautiful afternoon, and that's going to be that for today. So it's a Good Friday. I mean, yeah, outside it's beautiful out. It's beautiful out. The bicycle hasn't been touched. Did get out on the Tiger today. The Himalayans sitting there unloved. My son-in-law needs to come and ride it. I need to ride it. And then the BSA, we've made great strides today. So yeah, that's good. That's good. And the petrol tank there needs a bit of waxing. I'd think about repainting it, but it's got all these cool dings and scrapes and scratches, and I think I'm just going to wax it and just try and preserve its patina. The side panels are blue, as you can see they're over there with all the crap. I'm going to rub those down and paint those black. Do satin black. What else am I going to do? That's about it really. I did notice pushing this around that the front mudguard isn't in alignment. It's kind of off to one side, so I'll try and straighten that out. But hey, all things to be done later. My next challenge will be, as I said, put the primary on, get the clutch set. I've got to find the Woodruff key, put that in. I should dress that up with a file. That's it. That's it. I can hear beer coming. I think that's beer coming. Let's see if beer is coming. It's beer. That's my wife. Anyway, time to go. Good morning. It is March 12th. The clocks have gone forward an hour, so we lost an hour. So when I woke up at 4:30, because I'm an insomniac, it was actually 5:30 and a reasonable time to get up. So having walked the dogs, I'm out in the garage before the rest of the family gets up and we have breakfast, so I can put a few things together, and I'm going to do the primary drive. So that's the sprocket and the clutch basket, which currently is sitting here. We've got the primary drive sprocket, the chain's on, the clutch is here. I've got the little hub, the rollers are all in behind it, and this is here. So I'm going to pick it up and slide it on. I haven't got anywhere decent to put the, oh maybe I have. I'll try and I'll do another video. I'll stop. Well, actually, I might as well let this run and just try it. And we'll see what kind of a fuck up I can make of the whole thing. I do need to make sure I've got a clutch nut, which I think is that. So I should check that first. So I will stop the video. And if that screws on okay and everything is groovy, then everything is groovy. Right. See you in a second. Alrighty. Let's see. So the hardest bit is getting the clutch basket in place. Oh, yeah, that was difficult. That was so difficult. And my knee was probably in the way. It just pushed on, which is great. So, to save any issues, I'm just going to pop that on for now. So I'm lining up the top of the chain case with the middle row of links on the chain, and it looks pretty good. This will tighten up and pull in, so I'm going to say that's it. I will check the manual though, just to make sure that it's not, there isn't supposed to be some shims in there before I put everything in. I'm going to check if there's a lock washer needed. I'm just doing this finger tie at the moment. I'll go and do that now and just check that out and make sure that there aren't expected to be at least one shim in there. It looks good, but I just want to be sure. So I'll do that, and then we'll torque everything up. I've got my locking plate there. Then that's pretty excellent. Pretty most excellent, dude. Alrighty-o. So we're going to torque the clutch centre nut down, and it goes to a massive 60 pounds-feet, which is quite a lot according to my torque wrench. Wow, I've never wound out this far before. 60. There we go. 60. So let's give it a go. Everything's moving. Bloody hell. There we go. That's on. Right. Well, I don't know whether you remember when it came off, it was literally plop and off it came and the clutch hub jumped out at me. So that's on there. Let's get the, hang on. Let's be a good mechanic and unwind my torque wrench first. Unload it rather. There we go. that done. Right, I'm going to slide on the generator next, and I'm going to make sure I've got the right. Let's put you in there. I think. Great. I can't even see that. There it is. Lovely and covered in crap. So let's just wipe that off. Put him back on. We'll try and put him in. There we go. That's good. Right, pick him up. Make sure you're free of nuts, bolts and washers. We'll put you in there. Clean you up a little bit and slide you on without. The beautiful thing about having something magnetic and a wardrobe key is, I've got new washers somewhere. Now I did have a bit of fun getting the nut on because I think the thread was a little bit iffy on the crank. So it's a brand new, yeah, it's going to need let's just, I'm just going to clean that up first, and then I'll turn this back on. Right, we're going to put this on, and oh, it's 1/2 inch. Oh, that's interesting. I was just going to put, the only snap-on tool I own is a 1-inch socket, and 3/8 torque wrench is all revved up, ready to go. I haven't got it. Well, I suppose I could do it like this. Yeah, that's about 2 foot-pounds. Let me just quickly look and see if. Right, let's use the old Nor bar. So, time for another torque wrench. That will in fact do up at all. Come on. Oh, you plonker. Forgotten how to use it. So this torque wrench I bought, I was like 16 or 17. Yep, there we go. So there we go, it looks perfect. Well, that's the locking plate's time to tell me it's time to exit. But I still need it because I've got to do the other side up and do the kickstart side. So let's unwind these. And that's it, you don't need to see me unwind torque wrenches, so I'll turn you off. Alrighty, so now it's, I've torqued up the rotor, the clutch basket, the kickstart, and I'm pointing, but you can't see it obviously. The kickstart shaft on the other side, 60, 60 and 50 pounds per square feet. So now the debate of the clutch slippers. So this is the clutch slippers, primary chain tensioner. This is the original one. It's got fairly deep grooves. This is my used one that I bought. Used isn't as bad, so I think this guy's is the one that's going to go on. I'm just sort of looking at it just to make sure it looks good, that there's no cracks on it or anything. This one really the used one that I got definitely looks better, so I think the used one's going to go on, and I'm supposed to have about 1/4 inch of play, which is just about there. Well, that's good. That's halfway through the I should show you this instead of talking about it. So if I put it about there, it's that gives me, that's about right. So next thing to do is get all the bits of leaves and crap out of the clutch basket, put the slipper on, which will require the stator to go on the outside. One of the tricks I've learned from the T140 page is to cut up a plastic water bottle into sort of 1.5 inch wide pieces and space those around, and then slide them in to give you the right clearance. So I'll be looking for a plastic water bottle. Luckily my teenage daughters, my 20-something daughters will drink a lot of water out of bottles, so there's plenty kicking around. We'll use that to position the stator. The way of centralising is by biffing these with a hammer. or a wooden, you know, obviously using a wooden drift so you don't damage the threads, and put the stator on, and I think that'll button up the primary side. I do have to pull the wires through here. I've got a new grommets going there, so that'll be good in there. And then what's next? Oh my god, it's getting exciting. Now I'm going to put I'll leave the clutch. Do I want to do that? Yeah, I definitely want to put the stator on. I'll put the plates in. I've got new springs and screws coming for the clutch. Those will probably arrive midweek. Then it's moving on to putting the barrel on. So I've got a new piston. It's in the box. Let's have a look. Here's Mr. Ratio for those of you who are not familiar with him. Dave Smith, very nice chap. New piston. Where is it? Here we go. Very nice thing. Squirreled away, plenty of packing. This is where I'm doing it one hand and I drop it, which would be terrible. But I'm not going to take it out of the packaging. Anyway, brand new piston, plus 20, which is or plus 40. It's whatever was on the old one. I will check it and gap it before I put it in. So that's the next thing to go on. Then it's barrel, and then we can talk about the head. One thing I did notice looking at the rocker cover is the rocker cover seems to have been fitted without any form of gasket whatsoever, but luckily oodles and oodles of gasket sealant. So there's fun and games to play with that. And then I've also got, as I said, my cable kits, which are over there. I'll maybe string up the cables and put those in place. These need moving out, I think. I don't know whether that's the right place, but I think the front brake cable should come down here. And then loop round, otherwise it's going to get caught up in the steering lock there, which is never good. Maybe I'll make a little bracket to go there, you know, with a little cable round. Maybe that's the best way of doing it. It comes out with a strap and a loop that I can cable tie it to, which will still require this thing moving. And that's it. That's what I've got, but that's probably going to be another weekend because it's time to be a family man and a husband. So that's my next thing. Right, so I lied. I'm not quite done yet. What I thought I'd do is, I keep talking about I'm going to do a B44 style exhaust. So I thought I'd mock it up. This is what it looks like. I've just sort of bolted it on there. I had to cut in the back here. There was one of these bicycle pump tags. I don't know whether you can see it. That had to get cut out. This is the used exhaust I bought with the repaired silencer, and I was just trying to mock it up and see where the bracket would go. It's spaced on a piece of copper tube, and I've marked the mud guard. Yeah, there you can see it. Mark the mud guard because that's going to need to be cut. And I think what I'm going to do is do a little bracket out to here. That should be it. Feet are going to be about here, so this should be well out the way of footrests and stuff. Going to have the rack on the back for my camping stuff, so if I need any extra capacity, I'm going to only be able to put a throw over bag on the other side, but it should look pretty good. And there's my dog who wants to come in, so that's the kind of thing I'm thinking of. Hopefully it works out that well. And I think, looking where the studs end, the head is going to be about there. Maybe this needs to be pushed over. I should probably wait until I get the barrel on, but this is the kind of thing I'm thinking of. If this doesn't fit, I've got the original exhaust pipe, this one, and a welder, but so I can sort of modify it to suit if I need to. But that's hopefully what the exhaust pipe looks like. Yeah, should be cool.